All right, welcome into KC Sports Tonight. I'm Katie Marr. That's Mark Palos. We're gonna fix his camera just a little bit.
I manually did.
There he goes.
I slid the table over
Guys,
on the chair.
Full disclosure, we've got a little new system going, and this is my first day using it. So if there are any mess ups, which there already are,
Katie.Marr@kctv5.com. That is her direct email address.
Let me know. You have full reign to yell at me in the emails. All right. Well, we are going to start by talking about the Chiefs today because it is preseason finale eve out there at Arrowhead Stadium tomorrow night. They are going to be hosting the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Probably won't be seeing the Seahawks in any type of full force that we saw in the Super Bowl last year, of course, since this is just preseason game number 3. And as we know, their reigning Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, is now on the Chiefs side. He probably won't be playing either. We will wait and see about that. But as we do know that Andy Reid confirmed yesterday, Garrett Nussmeier will be starting at quarterback. Justin Fields is still expected to also play, but they're just going to try and shake things up and see how the young guy does, getting his first sort of career NFL start preseason. So, Mark, what was your impression when you found out that it would be Garrett Nussmeier instead of Justin Fields tomorrow?
I thought it was kind of an interesting decision there by the Chiefs because, in my opinion, I know some people are saying, like Andy Reid said, hey, this was planned all along. Initially, they were going to split reps, talking about Garrett Nussmeier and then the fourth-string quarterback, Chris Oladokun. And then with Oladokun still in the concussion protocol, they're like, hey, Nussmeier is getting the entire game. He's going to get to play 4 quarters barring any injury. To me, that tells me, Katie, how many times did you hear me say this at training camp? Actions speak louder than words. What is the action? In this case, it's more of an inaction where they are not letting Justin Fields see the field. And to me, that tells me that they are keeping Justin Fields prepared to be the starting quarterback for this team week 1. They don't want to have any risk of injury for Justin Fields. So what does that also tell us? That tells us Patrick Mahomes is not cleared to play a full contact game against another opponent. Now, maybe this is a little bit of extrapolation, but to me, with them not putting Justin Fields out there to put him potentially in harm's way, which you are every time you step on a football field, that tells me Justin Fields is in the plastic wrap, the bubble wrap, whatever you want to call it. He's not getting injured because he might have to be the starter week 1. So I know the headline coming out of this is Garrett Nussmeier starting the preseason finale, going to play all 4 quarters. But I think kind of the deeper meaning, read the tea leaves, read between the lines, is that that Patrick Mahomes is not cleared to play against another team. Katie, am I way off base in thinking that, or is that the truth?
No, I agree with you, actually, because I was at their press conference on Monday with Andy Reid and a few rookies talked and DeMarcado. So other than that, not the super all-star lineup, but we did get to hear from Mansour Delane after his first NFL start. Again, this is all preseason, so terms are relative here. But really, I came back and I was talking to our sports director, Marlia, and I was like, I mean, really today, the only newsworthy thing that happened was that Andy Reid didn't say that Patrick Mahomes is ready to play in a game. And the way that it seemed from what he was saying, I took that as he's not going to be in 3 weeks' time, because at that point it was exactly 3 weeks from the regular season opener, Monday Night Football at Arrowhead Stadium. There didn't seem to be that sense of confidence that he would be cleared. And again, none of this is a knock on Mahomes. This would be exactly 9 months after he tears his ACL and LCL last December against the Chargers. It would be, I can't really put into words how fast of a timeline that would be to be fully healthy and ready to have that escapability that Andy Reid wants to see in a quarterback, that every starting quarterback in the NFL needs to have in order to be able to play quarterback. You have to have the escapability. Andy Reid gave a whole spiel about that during training camp this year when he was once asked about Mahomes. And clearly, when they're going up against the Broncos, the reigning AFC West champions who dethroned them for the first time in 9 years, and it's a defensive line that led the league in sacks last year, this just doesn't feel like the best situation for Patrick Mahomes to be in if there's not more of a confidence, if not more of a sense of confidence around his ability to take hits. Because that's the one thing that he's not doing in practice, is taking hits and getting that real pressure from an opposing defensive line, He looks great out there. He looks mobile. He's comfortable on the knee. He's moving around super well. He's twisting it around. Those are all the biggest things you want to have. But the other worry is having another opposing defensive lineman coming at you, trying to sack you because they're paid millions of dollars to do so. And it seems like he's just not ready for it yet.
Yeah, no, I absolutely 100% agree with everything that you just said. But what's kind of interesting to me about this whole situation, you and I were up there at training camp. At training camp, you get to see the entire practice. You get a video portions of that practice. Every single rep we saw with the first team was with Patrick Mahomes and not with Justin Fields. Now that the team is back here in Kansas City, practice is behind closed doors. We get to go out there and see them stretch and do individual things. We don't get to see them do anything with a football. We basically get to see them do high knees.
Their leg kicks.
Yeah, high knees and leg kicks for 2 minutes, and then we get ushered out of practice. So we don't know what's going on here in Kansas City behind those closed doors. But what we saw, again, I'm going to say it, actions speak louder than words. The actions we saw in St. Joe where Patrick Mahomes was taking all the first-team snaps. Now, if Justin Fields, the action now with Garrett Nussmeier starting and Justin Fields likely not playing tomorrow, that tells me that Justin Fields is likely going to be the guy to start week 1, or at least is very much in consideration to do so. If that is the case, you cannot waste games in the National Football League. You cannot just be like, all right, we're at Patrick with the ones, but then, Monday Night Football against the Broncos, we're going to throw out Justin Fields, and he's never run with the ones. He's never going to establish his timing with the receivers, with Travis Kelce, with Kenneth Walker, all these guys. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like the Chiefs, a little bit, they're planning for the worst. And I would say the worst is Patrick Mahomes not cleared for week 1 and keep Justin Fields safe. But Katie, is it not odd to you that right now they're kind of treating Justin Fields as the starter, keeping him out of this game, but you and I were at training camp and we never saw him with the ones? To me, that it's just perplexing.
It is perplexing, and it's something that I remember us talking about on KC Sports Tonight one day when we were out there, and I think it was probably past the halfway mark of camp. And at that point, we just really did not see Justin Fields taking any types of snaps with the ones. And I was like, this can mean one of two things. One of several things, probably. They want to show the NFL and everyone else and fans, other teams, game planners, other players, whatever. They want to show everyone that they believe that Patrick Mahomes can play week 1. They want people to be excited about their team. They don't want people to go into this season, oh, we get to watch Justin Fields. Yay. No,
that's my stance.
They want people to be excited about watching the Chiefs, and a really big part of being excited about watching the Chiefs is watching Patrick Mahomes play quarterback. How many people truly cared about the last games of the season last year? No one. Because Patrick Mahomes was not playing. He is the heart and soul of this team. He is their franchise quarterback that's going to be here for probably the rest of his career, at least the next,
Whoa.
8
Probably?
years?
Are you saying Patrick Mahomes is leaving Kansas City?
You're right. I have the
Is that the new headline of KC Sports Tonight?
Inside scoop.
Patrick Mahomes to leave Kansas City Chiefs, according to Katie Marr.
We never know if he could pull a Tom Brady the final year of his career at 40 years old. We never know. Anyways. He's the guy that, they want fans to be excited about coming to see him. They want people to be excited about this season and making it back after they didn't make the playoffs last year for the first time in over a decade. They want to, I think part of them wanted to establish that in training camp. And another part of it is Patrick Mahomes is fully capable of doing all the things that you have to be able to do in that training camp setting. We've seen it. Like, he's moving around perfectly fine. He has mobility back in the pocket. He's moving in and out of situations. He's getting twists in his knee and doing all the right things. But like I said before, there's the one thing that you have to be able to do in a live game, and it's the one thing that doesn't really happen to quarterbacks in training camp or in practice, and that's getting hit. So that, to me, is kind of where I think that's going. But like I said, it just very much feels like the Chiefs probably should have given Justin Fields a little more time with the ones in training camp. Because we said it all throughout camp. He didn't look great. It's pretty easy to look great during training camp. And he didn't look great. But we also acknowledge he's not playing with the ones. He's playing with guys who aren't as good at catching the football. He's playing with guys who aren't as good at pass blocking. He's
You want the flip side to this is those receivers, when they're playing with Justin Fields, they're playing with a quarterback who doesn't throw as good of a ball.
Yep.
They're playing with a quarterback that doesn't make as good of a decision. Like, I know a lot of Chiefs.
There are 32 teams in the NFL.
And
if you are not a starting quarterback, there's a reason.
I might be the biggest Justin Fields hater out there, but Katie, I'm going to keep bringing up this play. 7-on-7. There's no pass rush. Justin Fields can't get the ball out, and he throws it off Creed Humphrey's helmet. I mean, it's like, golly, buddy, there's no one rushing you. What are you going to do when Nick Bonino is running after you? What are you going to do when the whole Broncos defensive line is running after you? I know Justin Fields was a first-round pick. I know he's a great player at Ohio State, but what we have seen in the first 2 preseason games and at training camp, it has not been good.
It has not been good. And you know what? It might just be – it's a shame. I was thinking about this today. The Chiefs' first 2 games of the season are in primetime, and they probably will not have Patrick Mahomes playing in them.
Are you ready for primetime Justin Fields?
Are you ready?
You think when the lights come on, they shine a little brighter, does Justin Fields tap into his inner Patrick Mahomes?
Against the Broncos and the Colts.
Hey, they played a primetime game in their preseason. They're going to do that, I guess, tomorrow, but also last week at Tampa Bay. And what's Justin Fields do on 3rd and goal? Take a 20-yard sack. Oh, God, I couldn't believe it.
Mark, I was on vacation for both of the Chiefs' first 2 preseason games, and I watched about the second half of the first one live, and then I watched just a few highlights of the second one.
That's time you will never get back.
It's time I'll never get back.
You will never get it back.
It's time I'll never get back.
If I wasn't paid to watch it, I probably wouldn't have watched it. It was so difficult.
But, again, tomorrow night, preseason finale for the Chiefs, taking on the Seahawks. The Arrowhead got a decent crowd for the first one. You really don't expect
my wife was out there. She actually had a good time. And I was like, well, what were you watching the football?
And she said yes. Loud enough for everyone?
She was excited. Seats? She was excited to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce on the sideline. She was upset that Taylor Swift was not there, but she had a good time. I think another cool storyline going into tomorrow is that former Lee Summit Tiger and former Missouri Tiger Drew Lock, he could see some snaps potentially there for the Seattle Seahawks, so that's very cool to see that. And I also kind of wonder how they're going to receive Kenneth Walker. I mean, he did leave a team that won the Super Bowl. I know a lot of guys kind of understand it's a business, and they understand the guys want to go and get paid and earn their highest dollar, but you never kind of know how some of these reactions are going to go. So I'm kind of excited to see how Kenneth interacts with the Seahawks and how they interact with him.
I am also excited to see that because the Seahawks they've also undergone change this last offseason, new ownership and all that stuff. So
and storyline to look out for is the battle of unbeaten teams in the preseason. So the Chiefs have lost 8 straight preseason games. Someone's going to have to win tomorrow. It's going to be the Seahawks or it's going to be the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs can break that stretch. There's a crazy stat out there, Katie. The Chiefs have won the Super Bowl more recently than they won a preseason game.
Oh, my gosh.
But I guess that's a good stat because you'd rather have them win the Super Bowl than the preseason, but still, it's rough.
Yes. I mean, on one hand, you really don't care about preseason results literally at all. Like, the preseason is literally just about young guys and new guys just fighting for jobs. That's really what it's become about. And then in the case of injuries, of course, I guess figuring out how a quarterback's going to quarterback.
These teams are going to meet again in the regular season.
They are.
If you thought they were going to already in the preseason, as they say, they love to say this in the NFL. They say it's vanilla.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Andy Reid said that because they also play the Rams in the regular season.
Yeah, I don't know how vanilla got such attacked in this term. But I guess vanilla means that we're not going to show anything.
I like vanilla ice.
But yeah, plenty of people like vanilla. That's
vanilla.
what. But vanilla in football terms means you're going to hate it. So I think the football you're going to see tomorrow potentially could be even more boring than normal because they already don't game plan for these, and both these teams are going to play each other again later. So do you think they're ever going to show a real play to the opposing team? No way. It's going to be rough, just like the first preseason game. But if you're a true diehard fan,
you'll do it. You'll watch it.
Yeah, you're going to watch.
You'll love it.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow night on Friday Night Blitz.
You're going to eat your vanilla football, and you're going to like it. Yeah. That's what you're going to do. Okay, we have a few other things to talk about tonight. Royals. Look, I'm going to admit something, guys.
I thought you were going to put a sad face on this.
Oh, wait. Let's add it.
We can add it in the new system. Superstar Katie Marr working the controls while at the controls.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Sad
yep,
face.
sad face.
Guys, I have a sad truth to share, and it's that I just got back from vacation a few days ago, and then I was off work just for my normal days off, because that's here in sports. We have weird weekends. The Royals didn't lose a game while I was gone, and they lost last night.
When
they
you
broke
return.
their 9
Wow.
win streak.
All right, we need to call Matt Quattrero and JJ Piccolo and say we figured it out. We figured out the key to your consistency.
Send me to the beach, and the
Katie
Royals
Muller
will
out of
keep
town.
winning. Send me to the beach. Book me all the trips, and if it makes the Royals win, I'll happily oblige. Mark gave you my email at the start of the show. But yes, the Royals lost. The Royals snapped their 9-game win streak last night in Toronto. They could seal the series win tonight. The series is split now against the Blue Jays. We'll see if they can do that. The game is starting in about 15 minutes. So we'll, of course, have that update for you on KCTV5 Sports at 10 o'clock. But, Mark, the Royals' playoff chances went from 0 to less than 1%.
To .001.
Less than 1%. So you're saying there's a chance.
I couldn't believe this kind of rhetoric from Royals fans. Like, it really shows maybe how this has been such an odd relationship between the team and the fans. Because, like, you're just looking for any sort of hope, any sort of any sense of life out of this organization. Then they go and win 9 in a row, and people are like, oh my gosh, they could make the playoffs. It's like, no.
So you're
they
saying
actually could not. I mean, it's like, come on, less than 1%? So they have like a 1 in 200 chance of making the playoffs, a 1 in 150 chance to make the playoffs. Like, who's going to play those odds? But it's just, I mean, it's tough. It's good to see the Royals playing well, but I mean, I feel like in Kansas City, we've seen this time and time again. They just have a stinker of a season for most of the year. This year, they didn't even get us to the World Cup. Like, they were just out of it early. It's just,
and we called that early. Like, I remember you on this show in May were like, if the Royals keep sucking, there is a serious chance that they are just irrelevant by the time the World Cup starts here in a few weeks. And that really became true.
Well, yeah, you know, it's just they went out there and they were a bad baseball team. I think unless you were like seeing things with Royals blue tinted glasses, like everybody could see that, you know, this team doesn't score. This team has a horrible bullpen. The tone of, I hate to say this, the tone of the season started in the second game when Carlos Estevez gave up the walk-off grand slam, and then we've never seen him since. He got hit by, and then ever since Estevez got out of the bullpen, everyone got out of their roles. Lucas Erceg is down in AAA Omaha. People were calling for him to be the closer, and he is currently not in the major leagues. That's how poorly and off the rails this Royals season has gone. But what I was saying, I feel like this happened. I've lived here a lot of my life. The Royals just have a stinker of a season, and then late August or September, when the September call-ups happen, all of a sudden the boys get hot, and they go on a little stretch like they did just now, winning 9 games in a row. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we could carry this over into next year. This is a reason to believe. And then people start drinking the Kool-Aid. And I feel like we have a literal lifetime of evidence that is not the case, that they just don't deliver on the late season promise. And I hate to see people going through it again. You guys know better. You've seen this your whole life.
There's a cycle. We are here, and we'll go to the next spot soon. And it just keeps going.
Time is a flat circle. And, you know, I hope you and I are not talking on the show next year and the Royals are 60 and 100. I hope that's not the case. But who's going to be starting for these guys next year? Michael Wacha, he's very, very good. He's an all-star this year. Seth Lugo, I think he has an ERA above 4.5 right now. He's not very good. Noah Cameron is very good. He's a guy to be excited about. But outside of those 3 guys, who is going to be a starting pitcher for this team? No idea. We look at the bullpen. The bullpen is god-awful. Who is going to come into that bullpen and make it a good bullpen? We have no idea. We look at the offense. How many runs did the Royals score last night? 0. 0 runs. How many games are you going to win when you score 0 runs?
How many
0.
Hawaiian Bros lunches are you going to get with that?
Yeah, you're not going to get any.
None.
Hawaiian Bros went bankrupt, didn't they? I'm just making that up. I'm
did.
sorry. Do not take that as truth.
No, the Royals, that happened during the stretch where the Royals were actually scoring 6 or more runs every game, and a lot of times still losing because of that bullpen. But yeah, then they were like, oh my God, we got to go buy one, get one free instead. We can't just keep out all these free lunches. We got to get some money somewhere. So yes, that was a very funny note that I feel like we've all forgotten about from earlier in the season as they've become more relevant. But it's funny when you mention Believe, because I am currently watching I'm watching Ted Lasso for the first time, and I'm on season 3, and the whole believe thing is a very key part of their storyline in season 3 right now because they just were horrible. But he's like, we just got to believe that we can win. And I'm like, is that what the Royals say? Is that what they do?
Well, I like the believe signs in Ted Lasso, but I think we've seen the Royals sign, like the acronym of the things that they're trying to do. I wish we could pull it up here on the show, but we don't have time. But it's like, oh man, I can't believe I'm saying.
I know exactly.
It's such a loser ball acronym. Like when you see, it's like, is this like a legitimate thing that a major league organization has? And the answer, unfortunately, is yes. But it could be interesting. What if we had Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis of Shawnee Mission West alum, also like sports director Marlia Campbell, Shawnee Mission West alum? What if we had him take over the Royals? Maybe they would believe.
Yeah. Jason Sudeikis, are you out there?
Yeah, are you listening?
Are you listening to the show right now, Jason Sudeikis? Yeah, if only. But we'll see. I mean, it's all going to come down to money. Money. And Sporting KC made some money moves. Mark, you were at their press conference today. Tell us the big news.
Yeah, Sporting made a bunch of high dollar. I mean, they're paying a lot of money over there at Sporting Kansas City. The first move, it happened about 10 days ago. They paid, ESPN's reporting this, $18 million to Greek team Olympiacos for Brazilian winger Andre Luiz, who's a 24-year-old. Got to see him in person today. He's 6'2", so he's kind of big for soccer, and he's very, very fast, very good on the ball. Sporting, he's the fourth high. If that $18 million fee is accurate, which the reports have not been retracted, and Sporting hasn't said that's not true, so we can safely assume it is what is going on over there. That's the fourth largest transfer fee, I believe, in MLS history. Woo. So, like, this is a big time move for Sporting Kansas City and a big time player that's been brought into the fold. When you're out there, he hasn't been training for a couple weeks, so they're trying to get him into game shape. Rafael Wicki, the head coach, said that maybe Andre Luiz could maybe play 20, 30 minutes in a game. Potentially, we could see him on Saturday against Vancouver. But what you see is a player that Sporting hasn't had in a very long time. He's very dynamic. You hear he's from Brazil. He plays with that typical kind of Brazilian flair. He's very creative on the ball. He's very creative off the ball. He looks like a very, very fun player to watch. So I think a lot of fans, if they're paying $18 million for this guy, like, he's going to be a big, big part of what they do out there at Sporting Park, and they're very excited. Got to see Rafael Wicki, have kind of some one-on-one conversations there with him. Pretty cool guy, but I think locally there might be not more interest, but a little bit of a different level of intrigue because the Sporting brought in this guy, Owen Wolff, and his dad. If Wolff, Wolff, if that sounds familiar in Sporting KC Wizards lore, it's because his dad was Josh Wolff, a former legend of the team. He has his name on the Legends wall out there at Sporting Park. He kind of grew up going to games, there's pictures of him with the KC Wizards jersey that you can see on our story on our website, kctv5.com. He was brought in on a $4.5 million transfer fee, which is a lot for a domestic player, and he's only 22 years old. They got him from Austin FC. Last year, he was rated as the fourth best player in the league at 22 years of age or younger. I think today the stat I heard was he's already played more than 7,000 minutes in Major League Soccer, and he's still just 22 years old. Sporting, this is a guy, first of all, with his ties to Kansas City, but they had him on their GM. David Lee said they had Owen Wolff on their wish list from the moment that they got here to Kansas City. So this is a guy they've wanted for quite a while, and they were able to get the deal over the line and bring him here to Kansas City. But these are two big pieces of a big retooling, rebuilding for Sporting Kansas City, because right now they're dead last in Major League Soccer. But I think maybe the most telling quote from the whole Sporting KC pressers today, which they talked for about an hour, is a very, very long time out there at the Compass Minerals National Performance Center. But David Lee said they're not trying to marginally improve. They want to make quantum leaps. And you can't say you want to make quantum leaps if you're not going to get big-time players. And so, Katie, it seems like Sporting did that today. I think this is Sporting fans, they haven't had a lot to cheer about. If you're a fan at home, I think this is a big reason to get excited. What do you think?
Anything to put butts in those seats, especially with all the excitement after
the
the
World
World
Cup. Hey, they have $15 tickets to put butts in the seats.
Like anything to get fans excited about going out to Sporting Park is really just, and to do so. It's like what we were talking about with the Chiefs. Fans want to watch the Chiefs because they want to watch Patrick Mahomes and watch them succeed. So you got to put stars out there. Sporting KC has not had a lot of those in recent years to get fans really excited, and they need to get people out there to score goals. So,
hey, if you made it this far in the stream, you're probably a diehard KC sports fan. go and look up some YouTube highlights of Andre Luis and Owen Wolf, because both of these guys, they are fun players to watch. I know it's been a rough year for Sporting Kansas City, but now as they build their roster out, as they find the players that they want, they're getting some fun players. And I kind of started thinking about soccer a little bit like college football. Like, yeah, maybe you want to sign the 5-star quarterback, the 5-star running back, but you kind of got to know who you are in the realm of that sport. Yeah. Sporting KC's, they're not going to get a designated player like Lionel Messi. They're not going to get a designated player like Lewandowski, who's out at Chicago Fire. They're going to have to find some of these other guys who might maybe be a 4-star recruit, might be a high 3-star recruit, but have tremendous upside. And I think that's what they got here. Andre Luis, maybe he's the 4-star recruit. Maybe Owen Wolf is the high upside 3-star fringe 4-star recruit. Are they the 5-star guys? No. Are they really good players that could change this program or this organization? Yes.
And speaking of college football, before we go, KU football has reportedly named its starting quarterback 8 days out from the start of the season, and it was a shock to me, honestly. I thought they were going to go with Cole Ballard, who has 15 games of experience under his wing, starting one game against K-State 2 years ago as a true freshman. But they've gone with Isaiah Marshall, the dual threat, who's about a year younger than him. Both of these guys have been at KU for the entirety of their playing careers and have been waiting for this moment, waiting to be named the starting quarterback behind Jalen Daniels for several years. Do you think they made the right decision, Mark?
I think they made the decision that has much higher upside. We've seen glimpses of Cole Ballard. We've seen glimpses of Zeke Marshall. I think maybe, are their floors similar? I don't know. Maybe Cole Ballard potentially could have a higher floor. But when you talk about the ceiling, I think Zeke Marshall has a higher ceiling. Now, Katie, I know you kind of have some sources there inside the program. You know some people close to this. But this was a shock to you.
This was a shock to me. I did think it was going the other way, but also I didn't think that meant that Isaiah Marshall wasn't going to play. I thought they were going to do a Cole Ballard as a starting quarterback, and Isaiah Marshall gets to come in quite a bit for fun trick plays, utilize his legs, things like that. Kind of like the Jalen Daniels, Jason Bean situation 4 years ago.
Shout out to Jason Bean.
One of those. But yeah, that's kind of an offense that Andy Kotelnicki loves, but apparently this is the way they're going to go, and we're going to watch it all unfold next Friday night for the first time. All right. Thanks for joining us here on KC Sports Tonight. We're here every day at 5:30. Adios.